What's up, LP fam? Coach Adam here, and super pumped to be rolling into one of our favorite, if not our favorite phases of the year, which is summer shred. Can't wait. First and foremost, let's all congratulate ourselves on an amazing strength and power training block. Jan, Feb, March were awesome. Right now, this week, we're doing our benchmark strength testing and power testing. And holy cow, what an awesome training block. I might even give myself a little pat on the back. I think this was the most success we've seen all around from our members in terms of improving their strength and power. I think going back to early in the phase, doing some of those dynamic lifts and those cluster sets really paid off big time. So let's remember that for next year, not forget. I'm recording this so I can watch this again and remind myself going into January of 2027. Let's make it the same goals, the same focus, get strong. So today I'm going to talk about our 4 phase yearly plan, remind everyone on our 4 phases and why we do them. And then we're going to talk about dig deep into our summer shred training block. We're going to talk about the transformation challenge, which starts in April, and some awesome events we have going on. We're also going to talk about the HYROX season, HYROX Ottawa coming up, and some exciting other events. And then we're going to finish it off talking about the LP health team and a workshop we have coming up. So just to remember, summer shred, get ripped heading into the summer, light weights, high reps, muscle building, body burning fun to get that muscle tone and definition everybody wants. Let's go. So 4 phases. This is super cool. Starting 2 to 3 years ago now, we thought we need to really emphasize what we're training for and what we're working on. And this idea of training for optimal health and longevity really helped us clarify what phases we need in our yearly plan and how we can break them down. So you guys just went through our strength and power phase, which is really important for that like top end strength and power that we really do lose over time. And it's important, even if you're not hitting PRs and increasing, just to maintain your strength and power year over year or over 5 years or 10 years is pretty awesome, as we know it wants to decrease and we got to work hard to keep it. And then the next phase we're going into is a big hypertrophy training block, which is lighter weights, higher reps, really focusing on building those, building the muscle mass. That also is something that decreases over time. Bone density, muscle mass, strength and power is more focused on like the nervous system and keeping things firing, all those fast twitch muscle fibers. Also bone density focused on holding those heavy weights and lifting those heavy weights. But then hypertrophy is really about, breaking down that muscle, rebuilding it, repairing it. And from beginning to end of the training block, we're hoping to put on some awesome lean muscle mass. And also a huge part of this phase is body composition. So we know that lean body mass is an important measure of optimal health. And to really focus on burning some fat and building some lean muscle in this phase is a huge part of what it's all about. So excited to dig into that. And then in the summer, most of you know our athlete conditioning training block is when we channel that weekend warrior. Really important that time of the year because a lot of us are outside playing sports, running, hiking, mountain biking, and we got to really channel that kind of inner athlete focused. The goal is in the gym, it's a safe, controlled environment that we can prepare our body with plyometrics, jumping, landing, bounding, all those explosive movements so that when we do go outside, our bodies are ready for it. And then the last training block of the year, which is a great way to finish off the year every year, is our foundation training block. That one is about really going back to the basics, working on muscle imbalances, working on single leg, single arm strength, stability, and rebuilding that foundation after a year of training, after a year of sports. HYROX training, triathlon, the body can be a little beat up. So foundation season is about getting healthy and strong. And then for those of you who are kind of new to benchmark testing, we do it twice a year. We do it once in the spring and once in the fall. And we test everything from strength to mobility to stamina, which we did this week. Next week, we'll test endurance and VO2 max. And then the idea is at the end of this is you get this Fit Life scorecard, which shows you all the key metrics of strength, conditioning, stamina, mobility, power, body composition. And then it highlights or identifies, okay, what areas do I need to focus on so I make sure I'm a well-rounded, healthy, strong individual. So excited for all of that, and especially excited to dig into this new phase. So our summer shred training block here, how it's going to look. Starting April 6th, we're going to do a little primer week, a teaser week. We really need to prep our body for this phase. The lighter weights and higher reps can make you quite sore. So the primer week will be to allow our bodies to adjust. Then our first 5-week cycle will start on April 13th. That will be building week over week up until May 2-4 long weekend, which is also HYROX Ottawa, so good timing there. Then we'll do a little fun deload blitz week, reset, recharge, come back for mini cycle 2, which will be another 5 weeks, which will go from May 25th till June 28th. Take us to the end of the school year, beginning of the summer, feeling strong, feeling healthy, feeling ripped and shredded. Then we'll do a little deload blitz over the Canada Day week, and then we'll get into our athlete conditioning training block starting July 6th. So that's how the training block is going to break down. Now, here is what we're focusing on: hypertrophy, VO2 max, endurance, lean body mass, body composition, all these awesome areas that we need to build on and focus on. So like I mentioned, the strength and hypertrophy side, lighter weights, higher reps, moving through full ranges of motion, whether that's a bicep curl, a pull-up, a squat, a lunge. We want to really, this is a phase where we can really develop strength through those full ranges of motion. And then the other part of this is just with tendonitis in the shoulder and the elbows and aches and pains. This is the phase where we can really embrace those lighter weights and really work on strengthening those joints with more isolated movements, and help those tendons and muscles around the joints get stronger and stronger. So it is a good phase to do a lot more isolation type work and really build those small little stabilizer muscles which do a lot. Now, one thing that can go wrong in this phase is because it's high reps, we can just move through the movements without purpose. So doing things on purpose with a purpose. One of the big things in this phase is going to be moving with tempo and control to really make those muscles work and really build and rebuild more healthy, strong muscle tissue. So making sure you're doing things on purpose with a purpose. Like I mentioned, huge injury prevention phase. We do a lot of compound lifts, squats, bench, deads, cleans. This is the phase where we get to do those more isolated movements and build healthy, strong muscles so that when we go to do those box jumps and kettlebell swings, explosive full body movements, that we have the strength in those smaller muscle groups to handle it. So you're going to see different kind of structure and setup within workouts. We're going to have our pre-fatigue work, our heavy loading work, our finishers, our metabolic stress, our concentration, our isolation work. So quite a bit different than the last phase, which will be fun and exciting. And then conditioning wise, we're going to be blending this VO2 max, which we've been building in the last phase, into more of a stress threshold and aerobic focus. Luckily for you, if you're training for HYROX Ottawa, or if you're not, we are going to be building up to that race. So you can expect Tuesday workouts to be very focused on that. And then Thursday workouts will be the opportunity where we get to do some of those more longer aerobic pieces. We'll get to be outside a little bit more, enjoy some running, and then tie in some of the machine work. So really important that we kind of balance all of these endurance zones. We know we have that VO2 max top end, but we also have that aerobic base that we need to keep strong. And then we fill it in that pyramid in between. And we'll keep reiterating that pyramid where VO2 max is at the top, 0 to 4 to 5 minutes of work, and then the aerobic base, which is those longer pieces that quite frankly range up to hours, that we do need. So we want to try to build all of that within the yearly plan. VO2 max was the big focus in the first phase. Now we're going to blend in some threshold, which is just below VO2 max, and then also some of that aerobic base. So excited for that. And then, like I mentioned, body composition is a huge part of this phase. Lean body mass is a big focus. So lean body mass is your total body weight minus your body fat. The remainder is muscle, bone, connective tissue, organs, all of that. That's considered your lean body mass. And we want that for women to be between 70 and 85% of your total body weight, and for men between 75 and 90% of your total body weight. So working towards all that, the body comp challenge is going to help with that, and the different types of training are going to help with that. So excited for all of that within this phase. Here's a little sneak peek of what a training week could look like. I have our strength work mapped out here in maybe what week 1 will look like. This work is all up for change. So if you don't see this exactly in the first week of training, don't be surprised. But this is a good overview of what the training block is going to be laid out like. So we got our main lift, which is going to be a tempo back squat or some variation of that, where we're really working on burning those legs in that tempo movement. The reps are high. 5 reps of tempo is a lot of time under tension, which is a big part of this phase. 2 seconds down, 2-second pause, speed up, 1 second reset at the top. That's the tempo work. So you're going to see somewhere between 2 warm-up sets, 3 working sets for a total of 5. Then we'll get into a superset for the lower body. And then Mondays we'll have a nice core finisher. And then we've got these awesome cool down routines, which are a combination of like stretching, mobility, but also stability and strength built into those cool downs. So wind down that nervous system, but also getting huge benefits from some of these cool down exercises. So excited to implement that into this phase, which will be a really cool change. Wednesdays, like always, will be a more upper body focused day with bench press. And then superset won't be a lower body superset, but will be an upper body superset. There was a little debate last phase on why are we doing legs on Wednesday. So the board of directors met, and it was a unanimous decision. No more legs on Wednesday. Back to the upper body pump. So we got some bar dips and some pull-ups in an EMOM type format, okay? And then an arm finisher on Wednesday, and then nice cool down routine for the upper body this time. And then on Friday, some sort of deadlift variation. In this example, sumo deadlift, and then into a nice superset with some rows and some chest flies. Second little chest day of the week, and then into another arm finisher. There'll be some variation of an arm and shoulder finisher on both of these days, and then a nice little cool down routine there. Sneak peek into the Tuesday and Thursday routine. Excited for these. Tuesdays will be more focused on that HYROX Ottawa build. So expect to see lots of those popular HYROX movements all amalgamated into circuits. We're going to start with some short circuits with short rests, and then we're going to lengthen out those circuits. starting with 2-minute intervals, up to 4-minute intervals, up to 7-minute intervals, and then up to 10-minute intervals. So expect to see long pieces of work, lots of continuous. This is this idea of this threshold and aerobic work where you're finding that sustainable pace that you can hold for a long time. Very, very, very important for your health and longevity to build this type of cardio. So excited for that. And then Thursdays, because we'll be missing out on some of our favorites, DB snatches, toes to bar, box jumps, kettlebell swings, pull-ups, etc. And pull-ups in there twice. We love them so much. We'll be definitely including all of that. And then we'll be getting a little more running, skipping, ski, bike, row, of course, into those days. So excited for that. And of course, our body transformation challenge, our most popular challenge of the year, perfect timing after coming off that winter and looking forward to the summer. Big focus on improving body composition, burning fat, building muscle, improving that body fat percentage, improving that lean body mass. So this challenge is going to start on April 20th until June 12th. It will be 8 weeks. It'll be the Ignite program will be free for all members. It will include body comp analysis throughout the challenge. You'll also get a macro calculator, which will calculate your calories, your protein, your carbs, and your fats. And then you'll also get a meal plan associated to those macros. And that meal plan will include recipes and a grocery list. That will be free for all members. Then there'll be the option to upgrade for some one-on-one coaching. The Transform program includes one-on-one coaching, weekly check-ins, tracking, and accountability. The Transform Plus program includes all of this stuff, plus a custom meal plan that is built for you and your busy, crazy schedule. So these options will be available. And as you can see, we have some awesome challenge prices here, which will be discounted from our regular prices. So a great chance to take advantage of that and get some one-on-one coaching and some awesome results. Everyone who signs up for the challenge and participates will get a chance to win a grand prize, which is going to be $500 to $500 values. One of them is going to be a Romeo Salon Spa makeover, which is super exciting. And then the other one is going to be an ATP supplement pack plus an LSKD outfit. So we got some amazing prizes for those top guys and girls who improve their body composition the most over the 8 weeks. So let's get pumped up for that. Let's get ready for that. Community events throughout the phase. Well, we've been talking lots about our Champions for Charity event. Our boys, Mitch, Paul, and Craig, are putting their noses and their faces on the line in support of an amazing cause. They're well on their way to raising over $750,000 and almost going to reach that $1 million point. So we got that big event on Friday night. We will be looking at hosting a watch party at the gym for those who are interested, but we'll talk more about that. The other thing we have going on at the end of April, beginning of May, is our HYROX training camp. 2 focuses here. One is for anyone new to HYROX who wants to try out one of the HYROX races in a smaller environment. On the Friday night, we're going to have a HYROX newbies event, which is going to be a fun little competition race challenge. And then we have our second ever HYROX Young Stars race on the Friday night as well. So we're excited for both of those. And then on the Saturday, we have our epic HYROX simulation workout, which is going to be 2 weeks out from HYROX Ottawa. And it will be our last key workout, simulation workout before the big race. We're also lucky to have some amazing speakers and coaches there that are going to talk to you about racing, nutrition, fueling. So it's going to be an awesome day. We have heats in the morning from 8 to 10 a.m. And then we have heats in the afternoon from 12:30 to 2:30. So if you're racing HYROX Ottawa, you know your race time or your race window. If you're a morning race window, get signed up for that morning sim. If you're an afternoon window, get signed up for the afternoon sim, and then the speakers and workshops will be right in the middle of the day for everyone. So excited for that. That's on the May 1st, 2nd weekend. We're currently in tier 2 pricing. Once that sells out, we'll go to tier 3 pricing. So get your tickets now before they go into the tier 3. What else do we have? Oh yeah, Mother's Day, Father's Day, and of course our very special annual event in honor of Shannon Block. So to start in May, Mother's Day celebration, we're going to have a ladies' night at LP on Friday, May 8th, hosted by our mortgage crew, our real estate crew, and our contracting crew, Hello Mortgages, Core Property Group, and Array Contracting Services. Thank you to them. They're going to have a special night set up for the ladies, which we can't wait for. And then the Shannon Block Memorial last year was an incredible event, our biggest one yet. We raised almost $9,000. We were lucky to host the event at Porsche KW and have a car wash and a raffle prize draw. So we're excited to do all of that again. And remember, in honor of Shannon, all of these proceeds go to spine care in Botswana. Shannon, when she was, before she passed away in her 20s, she had already done a ton of volunteer work and fundraising for spine care in Botswana, and her family has carried on that tradition over the past few years to continue to raise money. Her parents went back there last year and were able to see what impact the money does have towards building new clinics and healthcare for the people of Botswana. So excited to continue that tradition. So stay tuned for more details, but it will be on Sunday, June 14th. So excited for that. And then our HYROX crew, a little more info on what our training block is going to look like. We are 7 weeks out. We're in our final push here. The workouts after this weekend will shift to more simulation style workouts where we're going to combine running and station work, and we're really going to get used to that compromised training idea. That will be leading up to the race and up to that final race sim on the May 2nd. So excited for that. Reminder, I mentioned this idea around 3 key days and 3 easy days. This is super important. If you really want to bring that race intensity, you need to really respect the easy days versus the hard days, or else you're just going to show up every day feeling fatigued and tired and not be able to bring that intensity. So really try to dial back maybe on the strength work leading up to the race. Make Monday, Wednesday, Friday those easy days, and then make Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday or Sunday those key days, and then take the other one as that rest day, okay? So really try to emphasize that. After the race, we'll go back into a bit of a build season for June and July, which will be back to more of that speed running VO2 work, which we really didn't get. We did it on the ergs, but we really didn't get to do it in our running. So excited to go back to touching on that. After the race, also go back to focusing on your strength work. And then we got to, of course, maintain that HYROX stamina because we have some fun races like the HYROX over the summer. And we're going to have a fun fall race season again with HYROX Toronto and some other fun races coming up. So June and July will be focused on build, and then August and September will be back to race focus, and then some races coming up. Training camp before Ottawa, HYROX in July, full sim in September, and then HYROX Toronto at the end of September. So excited for that. Keep up the hard work, HYROX crew. And then last but not least, our LP health team has been making a big impact in our community. Of course, we have our physiotherapist, Kathleen, our chiropractor, Doc Kyle, our naturopathic doctor, Dr. Jen, and Coach Rhiannon, and also fascial stretch therapist, Rhiannon, who have been working hard behind the scenes to keep all of you guys healthy and strong. We also have our nutrition coaching team, which is Kyle, Rhiannon, and Michelle. who have been helping lots of our LP members with their body comp goals, their performance goals, their optimal health goals. No matter what your goal is with nutrition and body composition and health, they're there to help you. And then we excited to launch, we recently launched our Ageless Athlete program, which is our older adults program. We can't believe how much this program is growing over the past year. We currently have 3 different sessions running. Tuesday and Thursday mornings is a sold out session. And then Monday and Wednesday afternoons is a fun group. And then we're continuing to work on building that program. And then, of course, we have a recovery room, which the sauna is always spicy hot, cold tub's always cold, to help you recover from those workouts and boost your performance. The other fun thing that we started this year with Rebecca and Doc Kyle is workshops around different areas that we noticed that members have been coming forward to the health team with. So our first workshop was on our squat and mastering the squat. And the second workshop coming up in April is going to be on sticky shoulders, meaning anyone's with shoulder aches and pains, elbow, neck, that kind of upper body area. This workshop is for you. So Wednesday, April 22nd at 6:30 p.m., Rebecca and Kyle and our health team will be hosting that workshop. So get signed up in the LP app if you want to fix those shoulders. That's it, my friends. We have a super exciting quarter training block challenges events coming up. Can't wait to kick some butt with all of you. So keep up the hard work, my friends, and let's keep crushing it, LP fam.